Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Liam on Football YouTube channel. I really don't like doing these YouTube intros. I'm just going to put it out there now. I said it in the last one. Bad at the intros, bad at the outros. We are going to get better at them as they go on. But today we are joined by a very special guest. Max, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Max Waves, obviously big Liverpool fan. Not too happy with our result yesterday, but it's a pleasure to be on, mate. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries at all, mate. And that is what we're here to talk about, the unfortunate loss at Molineux and the fact that we've got to go there on Friday as well and probably live it all over again. But yeah, let's just get straight into it then. What were your sort of overall thoughts on the game last night, mate?
Where do you start, mate? It was terrible, terrible performance. But you know what? Doesn't really surprise me. I don't know when that goal goes in, you still have an element of shock because we seem to make things worse every single
Which one, the
time. Like
first or the second?
the second one,
The
like
second.
this is happening all over again against Wolves. And to be honest, like we've been in better form recently, 6 out of 7 wins. But yeah, yesterday was awful. It was more so the way we approached the game. I hated the first half so much, and then the
It's
second
been the
half,
case in
same.
a lot of our games, though, hasn't it? The first halves have been terrible.
I think it's got to be a tactical thing at this point. Like
Yeah.
he's got to be telling the players to kind of like be cautious and don't commit too much. And then the second half, as soon as they get the first goal, then you're seeing all the intensity. The structure of our team flies out the window. It just makes you think, why can't we play with that much intent to score a goal? In the first half of
Yeah,
games
when
and
it's
bury
nil
teams.
nil.
Yeah, when
When
it's
it's nil nil,
like,
when we're 1-0 up. Even when we're 1-0 up, we've sat off so many times this season, but we should be going to kill those games. But at 0-0, like you say, I thought, in the first sort of 20 minutes of the game, going over to an away ground, we saw it at Forest. We lacked a lot of
mm,
control in that game against Forest, didn't we, away from home? So to have that control, have a lot of the ball early on against Wolves, I didn't mind it, to be fair. I thought the first sort of 20 minutes, you know what I mean? You can accept just keeping the
yeah,
ball, keeping it ticking, get Wolves moving. But then there's got to be some sort of progression from there, doesn't there? Okay, now we were comfortable in the game. Not silence the crowd. I don't think they were very loud to begin with, were they?
no,
But you know what I mean? Now we're going to go and create chances. Now we're going to go put pressure on them. But it was just the same the whole game, passing
I've,
round the back. No, and it was a big point I made on TikTok. I'm pretty sure you've just saw the video, haven't you? I
mhm,
think without Vert, there is absolutely no sort of ball progression in our team. That we still have the players who can progress the ball, but we don't have the player in Florian Vert who can receive it.
no, no, not at all. That is an issue with the midfield without him there. It's mad to think actually we won the league with the midfield we saw last night because for the majority of the season when they have played those three, haven't been impressed too much. I think usually they give us more out of possession. They work hard. Obviously, Sabozlai in the 10 is very good at setting the press and stuff. But yeah, it was more so Gravenberch and McAllister last night really, really let us down. And you're right, the way we approach these games, it just let me down the fact that we're in the ascendancy for the Champions League. We can put
Yeah,
pressure on all of the teams around us. And then look what happens. We go there and it's like we're waiting on Wolves. Why are we waiting on Wolves? They're 20th. They're relegated.
yeah,
Also, Wolves in recent weeks when they've picked up results, how have they done that? They've been staying in games and growing,
exactly.
and then nicking it at the end. It's almost like I can't believe it, but then at the same time I can because that's been us for the whole of the season, hasn't it?
It has, mate, unfortunately. Like you say, with the midfield, it was the same one that won the title last season, but it looks so different. I don't know why. I don't know if it's
It does.
because, we had Nunes and Diaz sort of doing a lot of pressing from the front at the at last season, but then this season, it's Salah, it's Gakpo, it's Ekatike, three players who I don't think have much intensity off the ball. And it probably exposes the two behind Soboslai, McAllister and Gravenberch a lot more, exposes their lack of intensity, their lack of physical prowess. I think that's definitely something we actually did a video for your channel at one point, didn't we? It never
Yeah.
came out because the footage corrupted, unfortunately. But we
Yeah.
talked about the lack of physical prowess in our midfield, the fact that we need, you look at Forest, for example. Who we've just played quite recently, they dominate us. We can't be going to away grounds. A lot of away grounds in the Premier League, and actually, I was about to mention Newcastle and Forest's physical midfield. Wolves don't have a physical midfield.
No, they don't.
Andre, Xiao Gomez, Angel Gomez, he's about 5'3".
Mm.
You know what I mean? He looks like a child. So
and they still bullied us.
yeah, it still bullied us off the park, especially Xiao Gomez. I thought Xiao Gomez. I know Andre
Was
gets the
not.
sort of goal at the end, doesn't he? But Xiao Gomez, he was incredible. But yeah, I think we are missing Vert massively, aren't we?
Yeah, Verts is, a player who's grown in his time here. I think around December, around Christmas time is when he really started to take off. And still, fans were trying to downplay his importance to this Liverpool team. But you've seen it now with his injury. And obviously, he's missing Friday as well. It's got to the point where when Liverpool are playing without him in the team, I kind of feel like, and I know I'm not the only one who says this, I
Mm,
kind of feel like going into games that I'm not excited because I get
yeah,
pure
I feel the
excitement
same.
just out of watching him play and create. And he still obviously can improve and get so much better. But yeah, Liverpool are lacking a hell of a lot right now. It's not just Verts, you see him when we play with him, we still got major issues. So it goes way beyond that. And in the summer, there's a lot of work to do. Obviously, management as well. I
Big
don't know,
one.
mate. It's an absolute mess right now. Absolute mess.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great segue into the sort of management section. I do want to ask. First of all, I do have a couple stats that I wrote down before I started this recording. The three games that we've missed votes in the last three matches against three of the bottom four in the Premier League, our open play XG was Wolves away 0.63. We created XG from open play. West Ham 1.22. You think we scored five goals in that game? Three of them come from set pieces. 1.22 against West Ham, and then against Forest 0.92. So we're not creating enough chances at all from open play. You can see our best chance of last night as well was because of what was it? Gakpo clearing it off the line, comes from a corner
Yeah.
again. We actually I saw a stat on Twitter as well. Actually, don't know if I can remember it off the top of my head, but I think we rank like 19th in the Premier League or something like that for XG created per shot. Only Burnley have a worse XG created per shot than us in the whole Premier League. So you think of the likes of Leeds, Sunderland, even Wolves themselves have a better XG per shot. It's crazy. I understand that we play the low blocks, but yeah,
Mm.
do you sort of put these things down and the performances too that we're seeing on the pitch? Is it more on Arnie Slot for you, or is it on the players? Or do you have to just sort of, do both have to take the blame?
Yeah, it is a mixture, 100%. But ultimately, whose responsibility is it to get the best out of the players? It's down to the manager.
It
And,
is.
I believe these players are so much better than they've shown this season. And I don't think we're set up tactically in the right way. Don't think we play the right style of football, which Liverpool are kind of used to seeing, especially coming out of the Jurgen Klopp era. So for me, it is a bit of both. Players are underperforming for sure, especially, the likes of, our definitive world class players, Allison, Van Dijk, Salah. They've all taken dips this season, but
Hmm.
it's down to Slot to get more out of this team, and he's not right now. And we've seen this for so long. For me, he should have been gone in November, and I think it's just like a slow death, isn't it? It's just like
I
we all
think it
know
is
what's going
inevitable.
we all know what's going to happen, but it's
Yeah.
just about when really. Unfortunately, we might have to go out of the FA Cup and the Champions League for it to maybe happen like this season. Otherwise, it'll probably just be the summer.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't see it happening this season
Mm.
unless obviously, like you say, it's going out the FA Cup, going out the Champions League, which of course I don't want to sacrifice. I'm not, you'd much rather go
No,
and win the Champions League with Arnie Slot and he stays next season than we, go out the Champions
yeah,
League just for Slot to be sacked. I know a lot of people on social media just sort of go into games sort of wanting us to lose. I would never take that standpoint personally.
no,
But yeah, in terms of who has to take more blame? I do think the players, like we just said a minute ago, I don't know how this side, looking at it, won a Premier League title last year. I know it is a bit of a different
I know.
side, but it's crazy to think. I do think the wingers are really poor. There's not much Slot can do in that sense.
Mm.
Same in the midfield that we've alluded to as well. But I think he definitely sets us up very poorly off the ball. I've spoke about that loads of times before as well on my
Yeah,
TikTok. He has that
there's
plus one at yeah, with the pressing, he has the plus one at the back, which means the opposition
mm,
have a spare man in their third, which means McAllister, Gravenberch, these players, they have to jump from spare man to spare man, and they just don't have
yeah.
the physicality to do it. But yeah, I do think the players are sort of letting him down. But when you've got this much of a sample size of however many losses and draws we've had this season, especially in the last minute as well. I'm pretty sure we broke a record last night, didn't we?
Oh yeah. It's yeah, fifth game,
90
90th plus
plus.
minute.
We
Yeah.
is that just for
That
losing
led
games as well?
That's just for losing games. So obviously, we conceded once against Fulham and Leeds, and those
Oh, we
games
did,
ended in draws.
and
So
they don't even
you
count.
know, yeah, and the sample size, like you say, it can actually extend back to last season, probably around late February, when we
Yeah,
started
after
to tail
that
off.
PSG and Newcastle week, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And to be fair, yeah, there is difficulties Slot has had to face, which I think any manager would have found, tough this
Yeah, of
season,
course.
especially the obviously the tragedy of Diogo Jota and the recruitment in the summer. I don't think we left the squad in, the best shape. It wasn't really balanced for me. And we've had a lot of injuries as well, but nevertheless, we have better players than the likes of Chelsea, the
Wolves.
likes of Villa, and United, the teams that we're competing with currently. We should be, if we're going to have a poor season with this current squad, we should be nailed on for third. But right now, we might not even get, top five, which, yeah, Europa League soon come, mate.
Yeah, I said it to Ben in the last video actually. He was saying, would you rather qualify for the Champions League this season or win the FA Cup if you could only do one? And I said I'd genuinely rather qualify for the Champions League because we cannot be seeing
Yeah,
versus Salah, potentially not Salah, he might leave, but Van Dijk, Vert, Isak, Ekitike, all playing Europa League football. But yeah, it was
yeah,
a real opportunity missed, wasn't it? With the likes of Chelsea playing Villa tonight, Villa playing United next week, there's going to be points dropped all around us, and we really could have started to create that gap. Like you say, we should be definitely finishing third this season when you look at the
yeah.
squads. But yeah,
No, when I kind of went into this game, it was a kind of thing that if we win, I'd be quite confident that we'd make Champions League, just because, like you say, the points are going to be dropped around us, and we've got difficult games in the last four games of the
we
Premier
do.
League.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a factor as well. But I don't know, mate. What can you really do at the minute? There's not much that's going to change, and obviously on Friday, I think we're going to see more of the same things probably because there's not much rotation he can do.
No, I was going to ask you this question actually. Do you think on Friday, because we'll sort of start previewing that game now, we'll conclude that terrible performance last night. Actually, yeah, we'll end it on this on that sort of segment. Was that where do you think that ranks in terms of our worst performances of the season? I tweeted out after the game. I said it might be the worst, and it's crazy to say that because the Palace away fixture existed. We all saw it. It
Yeah.
was terrible, but I think it could have been worse in terms of just the complete boredom. Nothing happened.
Mm. Yeah, I'd say I said worst loss of the season. Performance is obviously a kind of different thing, but we've had so many that your brain actually forgets them. Like off the top of my
Yeah.
head, I'm thinking Brentford away.
I was going to
Brentford
say
away
that
was
Brentford was bad as well.
was
Forest at home was
awful.
terrible.
Forest at home, PSV at home. There's honestly been too many, but I think when you apply the context of us actually kind of getting back in form results wise, and then for this to happen again, I would say it is actually the worst of the lot. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think so too, to be honest. But yeah, going on to the game on Friday, then, what do you think has to be done to turn that loss that we've just had to Wolves, that extremely boring game, into a win? Because they'll probably be fielding a very similar lineup. I don't think they have a very deep squad, do they? They might play the
Mm,
likes of Huang or something like that, but the majority, the main crop of their players are going to be the same. Do you think Slot will rotate the side? I don't think he can afford to rotate the side personally. Now that his job is sort of back on the line again, I think he's going to be
true.
going full strength. Not maybe not full strength, but there will be just a slight rotation. Do you think he will sort of put out the same side and say, look, go and put that result right, or will there be some rotation for you?
I mean, it's difficult. I think when you're a man who's fighting for his job, he'll probably go strong. But then you've got to, contend the Galatasaray game, which is on Tuesday as well, early
Yeah,
kickoff in Turkey. So that's difficult. We haven't got a deep squad as it is, so certain players probably do need rotating and protecting a little bit. If I personally was the manager, just not taking into account the Slot situation, I would rotate quite heavily. Actually, I put all of
yeah,
that focus onto Galatasaray because we can't afford losing that game in the first leg either and having it all to do at Anfield. What do you think priority right wise is your bigger thing right now? Obviously, you're going to say Champions League, but
yeah. What, Champions League or FA Cup, or you just
or
saying in
FA
general
Cup,
with the
yeah.
league as
Oh,
well?
over these next few days, how do you
Yeah.
contend with that?
Yeah, that was something that I said to Ben in our sort of lineup prediction as well. We were saying, is Slot gonna rotate? He could have rotated last night and then gone strong on Friday. You know, you don't know how he was going to prioritize the sort of competitions. But I said I
Mm,
would have liked us to rotate, and hopefully we will. We'll get onto this. We'll do a quick lineup prediction, but hopefully I would like us to rotate on Friday because like you say, that Galatasaray game, somewhere we've actually lost this season, didn't have a good
yeah,
performance there at all, did we?
no,
Um, so we're going to need a very fit squad, fully rested squad. Hopefully, you know, you can't rest 11 players. We don't have the luxury to do that, but
no.
hopefully you can sort of, you know, give players 60 minutes, bring them off. I would put all my focus into the Champions League right now because for some reason I still have the delusional take that Liverpool have a good chance of winning the Champions League.
He can do something, you know. We got the power of Anfield. Who knows? We've actually played pretty well in the Champions League this season as well, overall. But I think a
Yeah.
big part of the rotation thing for Friday for me is like, well, these players don't deserve to keep their place either. So
No,
I
no,
think
they
it
don't. None
I
of
think
them
it's
do
time
really. No one had a good
certain
game.
no, I think it's time certain players were given a chance. Mainly the young guys I'm looking at, Nyoni and Gamora. I would love to see those two get a start because I think they're
Yeah,
super talented. And yeah, Rio's been affecting games off the bench, but imagine what you could do, from the
from the
start.
start. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. So right then, let's get on. Well, I did a lineup prediction video for the Wolves game with Ben, but that we went on quite long with that. We're going to try and make
mm.
this as concise as possible because we have gone on for a bit already. So in goal, is it Marmadashvili or is it Alisson for you? Marmadashvili obviously didn't start that FA Cup game against Brighton for some reason, but for me, I would have Marmadashvili starting.
I would as well, actually. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he deserves. Allison hasn't been at his best this season, of course. Don't put too much blame on him for the goal last night, even though a few people have. For me,
yeah.
Mamadashvili, he played against Barnsley and then didn't play against Brighton, which again was quite strange. But yeah, I'd bring him in.
Bring him in, and then who you going? Is it rotation at left back?
It is, yeah. Andy Robertson come in for me.
Andy Robertson. That's what I've got as
For you?
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Andy Robertson as well. I think he's got to start some game, doesn't he? You could start him. Well, to be fair, you could probably. He hasn't played a lot of games this season, has he? You could probably play him Friday and then Tuesday if you really had
yeah,
to. But I think he probably will come in for this one. Kirk back in
yeah. Agreed.
for Tuesday. And then centre backs is a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? Because there isn't much room for rotation at all. Joe Gomez is the only one that could come into the team, but is Frimpong going to start 2 games in a row at right back? If not, Gomez might be needed there. So, who are your two centre
Yeah.
backs?
I can't see any changes in that area, mainly because of the Frimpong thing. So I'd stick with Konate and Van Dijk, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I've gone with as well. So then what, at right back, do you have Gomez or Frimpong?
I have Gomez just because Frimpong obviously started, and we need to kind of make sure he's fresh and doesn't pick up any more injuries. But maybe Slot will go with like a Szoboszlai or Jones at right back.
I
He's
was
like
thinking
that.
that.
Yeah, I don't know what if you gone Gomez then.
I've gone Gomez, yeah, but Jones did end the game at right back. To be fair, I've seen a lot of people put blame on him for the second goal as well. I don't think he did too
Yeah,
much wrong. He did a back pass to Allison. Allison just should just clear the ball further. If he does that, you know, there's no issue at
mhm,
all. Allison's
yeah,
distribution has been a bit dodgy in the last few weeks. But yeah, I've got Gomez. And then speaking of Jones, I would start him in midfield.
agreed. Yeah, Jones is in there for me, and I
Who's
don't
next
think
to
you'll
him?
have Trey Nyoni in there, but I've gone with Trey Nyoni next to him.
No, obviously I would like to see it. I've sort of gone for what I think Slot might
Slot
do,
will do, yeah,
rather
fair.
than what I want. I would like Neoni to start because it can't get much worse than what we saw from Gravenberch last night against Wolves. You know what I mean? In
It
terms
was
of
terrible.
he's meant to be. I know he's still quite young in the grand scheme of things, but he's meant to be one of the more senior players, certainly more senior than Neoni. And yeah, physically he was awful. He gave away about 5 fouls in that first half,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
did.
And even after the card, he still had a couple nibbles, and it's like, mate, just leave everybody alone.
That's why he had to be taken off. And
Yeah, definitely.
Jones when he came on wasn't amazing, but yeah, Gravenberch's been so inconsistent this season, along with McAllister. So for me, I'd go Jones and
Both of them
Yoni, but
dropped.
obviously, yeah, both of them dropped. Haven't been impressed to be honest. But you've gone with Jones and Gravenberch then, or
No, I've actually gone with Jones and Soberslai. I want to see
something like
Soberslai.
deeper.
I know, Soberslai, with no vert, probably does start in the number 10 position, but we didn't really press too high and put too much pressure on Wolves yesterday, did we? The problems that we faced, like we said, was that midfield battle. McAllister and Gravenberch struggling in midfield. So I think
Yeah.
getting our two most athletic and intense midfielders in the middle of the park,
Yeah.
Szoboszlai next to Jones, I would like to see that. And then I would start McAllister. I think McAllister's going to start. It's going to be McAllister, Jones, Szoboszlai, with Szoboszlai's the 10. But I would put McAllister as the number 10 just to sort of get him out of those, long distance
Yeah.
running, covering spaces. So I would have McAllister in the number 10 position.
Yeah, he struggled. He struggled a lot with that this year, but I'd have Szoboszlai in the 10
Yeah,
personally. I mean, to be fair, you could even put Szoboszlai a bit deeper and maybe throw Nioni in the 10 because I
yeah,
know he can definitely do that. But
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, the mid not much we can do in terms of the midfield, and moving on to the front three, there's not much either, is there?
No, but to be fair, I have actually rotated every single position in the front three,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if Slot is going to do it. I would, like you said, I would really like to see Rio start from the left.
Yeah,
You got
for
Rio as
sure.
well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I think I've actually gone with Frimpong at right wing. I feel like they might give him 60
Okay.
again. He got 60 last night. Gomez started two in a row, didn't he? He started against West Ham, and then no, which one's Forest and West Ham was it? The Gomez started.
Yeah,
Did he?
no, Gomez didn't start against Forest. No,
Did Gomez only start one then?
he only started
Maybe.
one against West Ham. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Well, my thinking behind that was completely wrong then. But I would probably give, you know, Salah didn't have a great game last night, did he? Gets the goal, but just
No.
something different. He could go Chiesa on the right wing. I assume that's probably what you've got there. Or do you have
No,
Salah?
I've stuck with Salah, but honestly, him and Frimpong, it's like if you want to bring Frimpong in, my
Yeah,
only thing is that I'm just worried that he'll get injured because he's picked up so
yeah.
many throughout this season. But yeah, I've stuck with Salah right wing. Obviously, Rio's left wing for me, and then I've rotated the striker as well. So I've gone with Chiesa down the middle.
See, I think the striker will be rotated to Ekitike. Did Ekitike play 90 yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah,
But someone who came off in the game, I don't think he's going to trust Chiesa to start. I just
no.
don't. When his job's on the line, he's not going to start Chiesa, in my opinion. So I've gone for Cody Gakpo at striker. We're going to see him again. He's going to
Cody
make his way into
Gakpo
the
at
team
striker.
somehow.
You know what? At least he can't cut in from the striker.
I saw a clip on
Cutting
Twitter actually
Cody.
of someone making fun of him. I think it was a clip from last season where he's running centrally like down the middle of the pitch and he's still like he could easily shoot, but he's still like cuts backwards.
He's addicted to it, isn't he? But yeah, he has kind of experimented with that at times this season, playing him
Yeah.
down the middle. I think he played against Barnsley there and Fulham
Barnsley,
away.
Fulham, Arsenal at home as well. There were a couple, weren't there? And I do think
Oh
I made a
yeah,
video about that on TikTok too a couple of days ago. I got a lot of stick for it actually. Gakpo doesn't have the most supporters on social media these days, does he? But I do think Gakpo is quite good centrally. We saw it under Klopp, and now we've
mm.
started to see it under Slot this season. I think did he come on at maybe not actually? Did he come on at striker against Marseille? Marseille away, or was that on the left?
uh, maybe yeah. He obviously scored in that
Yeah, he
game
scored. I'm
with a
not
nice
sure,
finish. Yeah, but I
but
think
yeah.
he needs to be taken out of the team personally. I just think he's
Yeah,
got
he
so
does. He
bad.
does. I do agree with that.
It's got so bad. Like I'm not even saying Chiesa is going to do anything amazing, but yeah, for me, I can't see more minutes of him, and I think it's actually bad for the fan base. They're getting onto him, so it's becoming toxic, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it has. I don't think he's helping him at all. To be fair, after his goal against West
West
Ham,
Ham.
yeah, I thought you probably do start him again just so he can build that confidence, hopefully. And I did think he
Mhm.
looked a bit more confident yesterday in terms of taking his man on and cutting inside with so much what's the word? Definition isn't the word. Do you know what I'm on about though? Like with so much conviction, maybe. He's going at
Okay,
his
yeah,
man. He
yeah.
knows what he wants to do. He wants to cut inside. He was taking his man on all the time. But I do
Mhm.
think he definitely needs to come out the side, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, I think so. And we'll see how many changes he obviously does for this game, but I think it'll be more of the same for Wolves. Probably, yeah, similar team, and they're going along quite nicely right now. So,
Mate,
little
they might
cup
stay
run for
up. Have
them.
you seen their remaining fixtures?
I haven't, but I know the points gap is getting a little bit smaller now.
Mate, if you look at their remaining fixtures, they've already played City, Arsenal, Liverpool twice. trying to think now, if they played, they might have played Chelsea twice as well. They genuinely play like every team in the bottom half. If they end
That's
up
mad.
somehow staying up, this will be a crazy, crazy
That'll be the
story. But
greatest escape. The
yeah,
greatest escape.
100%. It's got to be because everyone's,
Yeah.
even the commentators last night, talking about it being a free hit for Wolves and things like they've got
Mm.
nothing to play for. If they somehow end up surviving, to be fair, I do want it to happen. I really like Rob Edwards. I wanted Luton to stay up when he was managing them as well, but that's besides the point. So overall, mate, how do you think the game is? The game going to be any different on Friday? What do you think the score is going to be, and will Liverpool advance to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup?
You know what? I think it all depends on if there's an early goal. I think if it's, well, I think we'll see more of the same. I don't think we're going to go into this game with a different kind of approach. But if there's an early goal at either end, then all chaos might break loose. You saw that against West Ham when Ekatike scored early on. Yeah, 7 goals in that game. We could see something
Yeah,
like that, but also it wouldn't surprise me if it's just like a nil-nil, maybe drags to extra time. Am I confident for this one? No, not really. I haven't really even thought of a prediction, to be honest, but I never like predicting against Liverpool. But yeah, for me, I'll just say a 1-0 scrape, 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't thought of put too much thought into a prediction either, to be honest. But like you say, you've got to back us to win. You've just got to keep coming into these games. We've got loads of games back to back to back now. You've got to keep coming into these games with the utmost delusion in that Liverpool are going to win these games. So
yeah, sure.
I'll go with a 2-0 win. Fuck it, we both
2-0.
we both predicted a
Clean
clean sheet
sheets.
after. Yeah,
Yeah,
clean
that's
sheet. To be
crazy.
fair, Wolves yesterday, their first shot came in like the 70th minute, didn't it? So you never know.
Yeah, no, for
But
sure.
yeah,
And it kind of sums up, teams cannot create anything against us, but I always feel like they're going to get a chance and score,
yeah,
and that's
one.
basically,
I can't believe we were that open for like
yeah,
for their
the
for their
first
first
goal.
goal. You saw it coming a mile off. Van Dijk and Canate were like right next to each other, and then there's just who was it? I don't even know who scored for them. Was it
Yeah, so Rodrigo Gomez, is
Bueno
it?
or Rodrigo Gomez? I don't even know. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. I feel like all those. Well, there was so many Gomez's on the pitch, weren't there? I'm pretty sure the
yeah, they're all the same.
commentator
They're
mentioned that.
basically all the same. But Van Dijk and Konate, that was poor from them because they have been better in recent weeks. I honestly think if we're going to get a win in this game, it will be down to defensive stability and probably keeping a clean sheet. And like I say, maybe nicking a goal from a set piece or
Set piece goal, the set piece kings.
yeah. Or even if they gift us a goal like they done yesterday, because we didn't create anything to get the equaliser. They just passed Salah the ball, and
Yeah,
then he done well to finish it off.
yeah, exactly. And one more thing on that game actually that I've just remembered about. I can't believe right after we scored that 4-on-2 with Salah
Oh
at the
yeah,
end. How did we not just bury the game there? I had flashbacks to Brighton at home last season where we just hit them with two in like 2 minutes.
yeah. And if Salah just wait, well, if he played the ball slightly away from the defender, we would have been in. Sabozla would have been in, and I would have backed him all the way. I thought we were gonna scam another win, but
Yeah, exactly.
part of me is like, I don't even want to win like the way we're winning right now. It's just
No, you
so
want good
not in
convincing
keep.
performances, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, how many convincing wins have we had this season overall? I mean, that's another conversation. We could
That's
go
another
on for
video,
hours.
mate.
Yeah, 100%, mate. We could go on for hours, but it is what it is. Let's see what we can do on Friday. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll conclude the video here then. It's that awkward moment where I've got to learn how to do a YouTube outro again. So thank you everybody for watching. Go and check out Max's content. I'm sure you know who he is already. We're hopefully going to be doing some more content in the future, Max. I'd love to
100%.
have you back on again. But
100%,
yeah,
mate. Yeah. On all different socials as well. So, yeah, appreciate you having me on, mate. Thank you for the time.
no worries. Pleasure having you on. So yeah, everybody do all the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments. Give your score predictions and maybe lineup predictions about the game on Friday. Will Liverpool beat Wolves? Probably not, but let's all be hopeful. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you again probably in the next couple of days. I'm trying to be consistent on YouTube now, so yeah, goodbye.
Peace out.